The scariest thing for any football team at any level is if your offense, especially if it's year 2 or year 3, is obliterating your defense on a daily basis, because that means that your defense is really bad. Your defense should always be slightly ahead of the offense. And you do like when there's some give and take, when there's some push-pull where the offense has a nice period, but then the defense finishes it off with an exclamation point.
The most exciting thing that we saw today was Sam Ehlinger throwing a 50-yard ball up to 3 players that Troy Franklin came down with.
And that was the third defense that he saw.
R.J. Harvey on the second play from scrimmage after a fumbled snap. Had an opportunity to break, contain, and get onto the edge for what seemed to be like a 10 or a 12-yard gain before he got pushed out of bounds. Those were your 2 most dynamic plays. The rest of it was missed wide receivers being flushed out of the pocket.
Pass rush was a problem.
Pass rush was an issue. And that's where the Broncos are going to make their bread. Like, if they're going to take the next step, that pass rush has to be just as good, if not better, than it was last season.
And early returns are that it is exactly that. As Bo Nix appears to be ready to take what will probably be the last set of team 11-on-11 reps of today's practice with the first unit.
Okay, so bad offense day. Quarterbacks haven't been great. You haven't done anything.
I actually liked Stiddy had probably the one significant completion in the last 11-on-11 period. It was to Cortland Sutton, the $90+ million man.
When you take this little break and you go into punt coverage and some field goal kicking for the last 15 or 20 minutes, you bring everyone back together for another let's hit each other at the end of practice period. What are you saying to your offense if you're Sean Payton in the huddle right now?
Well, just, hey, we got to get back on schedule. And that's what I would say. There hasn't been a ton of turnovers today for the offense. It's just look arrhythmic. And I think that continued right there with another short pass that gets swallowed up defensively as Bo Nix completes a ball, what appears to be to Evan Ingram for a 2-3 yard gain. But even that, just getting back into the rhythm of finding a small completion. You want
hands-on footballs.
You want to finish the day feeling like, hey, there's some semblance of rhythm to what we did. Sean Payton, now, I don't know if this is scripted or not, but this appears to be a tempo period of practice where the offense is playing with a lot more tempo from one rep to the next.
Flushed out to the left-hand side.
Like
I was going to say there's probably a sack there. Bo does get up the left side for what seems to be a gain. I didn't see a big reaction from the defensive sideline. Typically, when you get a sack, there's a little bit of energy and juice, so maybe he was able to break and get out of there. Those are the 2 things with the offense, is that can you stay on rhythm? Can Bo utilize his legs after? That is the part of the tape, right, that the league now knows about, right? You're not going to get caught off guard where Bo's breaking these 7, 12, 15-yard runs all the time to extend drives. Can you do that when the defense is ready for it, when it's looking for it?
The name of the game in defensive football is that you got to be able to contain the passer, contain any of your edge run game. And if you can set edges on the defense, then you have a chance against mobile quarterbacks. You got a chance against any type of team that likes to run the wide zone schemes that you see in the Shanahan tree, and now the McVay, Kyle Shanahan, McDaniels tree. It's all about setting the edges, and I've seen that today. I mean, at basically every rep so far, this appears to be a 2-minute drill. I think we're watching 2-minute drill, and the
ball hasn't gone anywhere.
The offense looks to be just completely stagnant.
How many days in a row of stagnant offense, struggling offense against an elite defensive core like this one? How many days in a row starts to really terrify you? That you're stuck in the mud?
4 or 5.
So if we're having the same conversation on Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, and I would say yesterday I thought there were some flashes on both sides of the football. It was a hard practice to even evaluate just because there were only 2 real team periods of 11-on-11 football. But, yeah, if you get into like a rut of 4 or 5 days, now you start kind of concerning yourself with the confidence of your starting unit, the confidence of your quarterback. And if you don't think that's a real thing, then you don't understand the psyche of particularly the quarterback position.
I'm excited to see Bo tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I know they're likely not going to be in pads again 3 straight days tomorrow, but I'm excited to see the type of fire, the leadership that he has in tomorrow's practice coming off of 2 straight days where it wasn't really all that great. Now, the offense was better yesterday than it was today, but that's when you start seeing the next evolution in the leadership of Bo Nix. And the first day that we were out here, what was the whole conversation about? This is Bo's camp. This is Bo's team. You can see the control that he has. Sean Payton isn't talking to Bo in between plays like he was last year. He's talking to the wide receivers and the running backs. Bo's got the huddle. He's good. Now I'm excited to see what he does tomorrow.
Well, if there's one thing that I learned about Bo Nix last year, for whatever the deficiencies that I might have seen at the combine, physically, his arm talent, the ability to drive the football up there like with a guy like J.J. McCarthy or Michael Penix Jr., of which he was back-to-back with at the combine, he's got an incredible ability to do something that I think is so important in the National Football League, and that's to respond. The R word is something that that Bo Nix is taken, and any time it felt like Bo Nix was, even like his start last season. You remember
his last
Seattle,
8 weeks were sensational.
At Seattle, not great. At home against the Pittsburgh Steelers, not great. But he responded the next week on that East Coast road trip, and that response propelled the Broncos into what ended up being a playoff season for him. And I think that's one of his greatest aspects is not what he does physically. It's what he does between the ears, and that's his ability to be a consummate professional.
Those final 8 weeks, they all felt like that. He was making the right decisions at the right time. He wasn't turning the ball over. Now, did you want a little bit more out of him? I guess in that Cincy game, sure. Because we haven't seen him pick up the defense, right? I feel like that's the one thing you haven't seen Bo do is when the defense doesn't play great, can he go out and win the game?
Pick apart a team. Just shred them and slice them. I'd love to see that. There were moments against Cleveland that you felt that, right? There were definitely moments against the Atlanta Falcons.
Well, I mean, you could say against Cleveland, but the defense had 2 touchdowns in that game.
Yeah, you're right. Atlanta Falcons. There were some good footballers. Jaleel McLaughlin getting some open space right there. It's a player that has had a fairly quiet training camp, but he is running with a 3 offense right now, and he did find some space and moved the football and created a bit of an explosive play for the offense.